Welcome to Compact Biographies from compactbiographies.com, where we tell you interesting things about interesting people in smart bite-sized chunks. This is episode 230, Alan Turing. Alan Turing stands among the most influential thinkers in human history. His ideas laid the foundations for the digital age. His wartime work helped turn the tide against Nazi Germany, and his determination to understand intelligence reshaped science itself. Yet for decades, much of his contribution remained buried in secrecy, and his personal life was marked by injustice. Today, he is celebrated as a visionary whose brilliance transformed the world, even as society failed him in life. Alan Matheson Turing was born on the 23rd of June 1912 in London. His parents worked in British India, so as a child, he spent long periods in the care of family friends. From the start, he displayed a fascination with how things worked. He read voraciously and experimented constantly, more drawn to his own imaginative world than to the rules of the classroom. School life was not always kind to a boy who preferred solving puzzles to playing sports. Yet his mathematical abilities were impossible to ignore. Teachers noted his remarkable talent for reasoning and his determination to challenge traditional ways of thinking. He was not content to accept what others believed. He needed to test ideas for himself. Turing attended Sherborne School in Dorset, where the ideals of classical education clashed with his scientific passions. Despite this, he blossomed intellectually. A profound friendship with fellow student Christopher Morcom had a powerful impact on him. Morcom shared his curiosity and encouraged Turing's scientific ambitions. When Morcom died suddenly from illness in 1930, Turing was devastated. His grief drove him deeper into research, determined to understand the laws that governed both life and the universe. This tragedy marked a turning point. Science would not only be his passion, but also his purpose. In 1931, Turing began studying at King's College, Cambridge. There, he encountered mathematics at the highest level. Europe was buzzing with questions about logic, computation, and the very nature of thinking. Turing did not simply join these conversations, he reshaped them. In 1936, he published a groundbreaking paper exploring whether every mathematical problem could be solved by following a series of logical steps. To answer it, he imagined a hypothetical machine that manipulated symbols on a strip of tape. This simple concept, now known as the Turing machine, provided a blueprint for the computers that would emerge decades later. Turing showed that while such machines could solve many problems, there were limits to what computation could achieve. His work answered a fundamental question in mathematics, but more importantly, it set the stage for modern computing. Ideas that began as thought experiments would later become everyday technology. As political tensions in Europe heightened, Turing's extraordinary analytical abilities drew attention. In 1938, he trained briefly at Bletchley Park, a government code-breaking centre, before returning to Cambridge. When war broke out the following year, he was urgently called back. Turing became one of the leading cryptanalysts working to decipher Nazi communications. The German military relied heavily on Enigma machines to encode messages. Each message passed through rotating electrical rotors, producing millions of possible settings. The system was believed to be unbreakable. Turing refused to believe that. Building on earlier Polish innovations, Turing designed a machine known as the Bombay. It rapidly tested rotor settings to uncover patterns within Enigma encrypted messages. He developed new statistical methods to guide the machine's analysis, transforming code breaking from a slow human puzzle into an industrial process. Soon, Bletchley Park was reading enemy messages daily. Intercepted communications revealed submarine positions, troop movements, and strategic plans. The information was so valuable that it was classified ultra, the highest level of government secrecy. Historians estimate that Turing's work shortened the Second World War by at least 2 years, saving countless lives. Yet the secrecy surrounding Bletchley Park meant that the world would not learn the truth of his contribution for decades. Turing's wartime achievements did not end with the bomb bear. He also worked on more advanced German ciphers, including the Lorenz machine used by senior Nazi leadership. Shortly before the end of the war, he contributed to early computer design at the National Physical Laboratory, envisioning machines far more powerful than anything then in existence. By the late 1940s, he had moved to Manchester, where he helped develop one of the first stored program computers. His vision was not simply to build machines faster than humans. He wanted to understand whether machines could think. Turing believed that intelligence did not require a human brain. If a machine could learn, adapt, and respond with complexity, why could it not be considered intelligent? He approached this question with bold simplicity, proposing what is now called the Turing test. In its basic form, the test asks whether a machine could hold a conversation well enough that a human cannot tell if they are speaking to a person or a computer. The idea continues to influence artificial intelligence research to this day. Turing's pioneering spirit pushed him into territory where science meets philosophy. He encouraged the world to see thinking not as a mystical act, but as a process that could be understood, replicated, and expanded. While Turing was shaping the future of technology, his personal life was overshadowed by the harsh social norms of the time. Homosexuality was illegal in mid-20th century Britain. After reporting a burglary in 1952, he admitted to a relationship with a man. Instead of being treated as a victim, he was arrested and charged with gross indecency. Convicted, Turing was forced to undergo hormone treatment meant to suppress his sexuality. The effects were physically and emotionally damaging. He lost his security clearance and could no longer work with government cryptography. A mind of extraordinary ability was silenced by prejudice. On the 7th of June 1954, Alan Turing was found dead in his home in Wilmslow, Cheshire. He was 41 years old. A half-eaten apple lay beside his bed, leading many to conclude that he had taken his own life using cyanide. His death left a void not only in the scientific community, but in the possibilities he might have explored had he lived longer. The world had lost one of its most original thinkers long before his ideas were exhausted. For many years, Turing's legacy remained obscured by secrecy and silence. His classified wartime work remained unknown, and his personal struggles went overlooked. But gradually, the truth emerged. In 2009, the British government issued an apology for his treatment. In 2013, Queen Elizabeth II granted him a posthumous royal pardon. Memorials, films, and scholarships now bear his name. In 2021, his image was placed on the Bank of England's £50 note, a symbol of national gratitude for the mind that transformed Britain's fate. These honours, while meaningful, cannot erase the injustice he suffered. Still, they show that history's judgment is often kinder than the judgment of its own time. Every device that computes, connects, analyses, or automates owes something to Alan Turing. Smartphones, satellites, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and countless other technologies trace their origins to his theories and his wartime machines. He imagined a world where machines not only followed instructions, but helped humans think more deeply, create more freely, and understand more completely. That world exists today. His legacy is not only scientific but human. Turing's life warns us that brilliance can be crushed by intolerance, and that societies must protect those who challenge assumptions rather than punish them. Alan Turing shaped the modern era in ways that even he might not have foreseen. He taught us that thought can be mechanical and machines can learn, that secrecy can save nations, and that ideas can outlive those who imagine them. He remains a symbol of both triumph and tragedy, a man whose genius helped secure freedom, yet who was himself denied it. Turing once said, "We can only see a short distance ahead, but we can see plenty there that needs to be done. His life embodied that belief. He saw further into the future of technology than any of his contemporaries and worked tirelessly to bring that future closer. The digital age stands as his testament, a world in which his once abstract theories now hum quietly in every computer, reminding us that great minds often change the world before the world is ready to understand them. Alan Turing did not simply solve problems. He unlocked a new way of thinking, and in doing so, changed human history. I hope you enjoyed that episode of Compact Biographies from compactbiographies.com. If you did, please consider leaving us a review wherever you get your podcasts, as it will help the show to grow. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.